Hello and welcome to MCPSS Athletics. My name is Calvin Chris, Athletic Director of Mobile County Public Schools. Studio today we have from Bryant High School, softball coach Megan Wallace and soccer coach Dustin Higgins. Now let's get to our scoreboard. In boys baseball, Theodore lost to SARALAND 7-6. Murphy dropped a doubleheader to MCGILL-TOOLEN 10-0 and 13-3. Murphy came back in the 6th inning for a 5-3 win over MCGILL-TOOLEN in the 3rd game. Baker pounded out 17 hits in a 17-2 win over Davidson. Gurley tossed a complete game as Theodore rallied to defeat SATSUMA 7-3. MGM defeated ALMA Bryant 12-2 in an Area 1 win for the Vikings. And Rain lost to Cottage Hill Christian 7-2 and 6-2. And girls softball, Sprayberry led Central Nell to an 18-0 win over LaFleur. Baker got 2 hits but made them count in a 42 win over ALMA Bryant. And Viger took a doubleheader from Williamson 13-6 and 7-0. And after this message, we'll be back with our first guest.
All in together now, we can make it better now. Come on.
Moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier. Search We Can to find out more.
I saw Mr. Tillman's class. Just that quick little 5 minutes I had with him made me think that I really wanted to do small engines. I just love tinkering with them. Just a gearhead. Graduating from the Career Tech Center has allowed me to better myself, make more money, be more informed about the trade that I'm going to be in. I just felt like doing a trade is just better than working in an office or something. I have to be outside working with my hand or something.
MCPSS Career Tech. Start your future today.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Welcome back to our first segment. We have Coach Higgins, the boys soccer coach at Bryant High School. Dustin, appreciate you coming by today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Dustin, you have been at Bryant a good while. You want to go through your career? You haven't been there a long time, but you've been there. You're kind of a veteran teacher.
Yes, sir. I've been the soccer coach at Bryant for 13 years, and this is my 12th year teaching out at Bryant High School.
And you're a health teacher?
Yes, sir. I'm a health teacher. Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your season so far.
We're not doing too bad. We're 10-8 overall, and 3-2 in the area. So overall, we're doing pretty well.
You was telling that you control your own destiny with a couple games to go.
Yes, sir.
Those couple games.
Yeah, we play MGM tomorrow actually, and then the Tuesday after spring break, we play Baker, and if we win those, we have a real good shot at going to the playoffs.
Talk a little bit about your area.
Right now, Davidson's #1. They're undefeated in the area. And then right behind them is us, Baker, MGM, and Theodore. So it's pretty close race.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about soccer. It seems like maybe our area is a little bit behind. You've been in it 13 years,
yes,
but
sir.
Soccer is getting better and better in our area.
It is. Well, everybody's a lot more competitive. Davidson, in our area, Davidson's probably the best team. I mean, they really are. But right behind them, all of us are pretty equal, and we just get out there and we do what we can while we have them in season.
I believe Coach Riley was telling me soccer is the second largest participation sport at Davidson. So, we're getting more and more kids out, and I think a lot of that has to do with youth programs.
Yes,
our youth programs, we're getting more and more of those going. So I think that's going to help y'all in the long run.
Yes, sir.
Have you played any tournaments this year? I know you have one at the beginning of the year, I believe.
Yes, sir, we do. We played in the Southern Shootout at the beginning of the year that is hosted by St. Paul's. And in our bracket, we came in second, right behind Gulf Shores. And then we had our varsity tournament at Bryant, and we came in second behind Baker. And we've also hosted, between us and Theodore, we've hosted a JV tournament. So we've been pretty busy with tournaments.
Right. How do you think we compare to the northern part of the state in soccer? It seems like, you know, I think we've had Murphy's made it to the Final Four. Cincinnati made it, I believe, last year.
Yes.
I think we're getting a little better, but how do we compare to the northern part of the state? And I know you've played some of those teams.
Yes, sir. We've played a couple of those in the Southern Shootout. I know Davidson has played like Auburn, and they've played Mountain Brook, and you know they're right there neck and neck. You know, when we play, you know, the games are usually real competitive. You know, and it's usually 1-2 goal games, so it's pretty competitive.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that they're ahead of us? Is it summer programs or?
I think it's a combination of, especially way down here in South Mobile County, it's soccer isn't really, you know, a lot of people gear toward football, you know, and baseball. And, you know, most of my kids, for example, don't play soccer until they're in the 9th grade. Right. You know, the kids up north, you know, they're playing, and like Davidson High School, those kids play club ball, and, you know, they do play summer leagues and different things like that. So the more soccer gets out, you know, I'm having more and more kids. I have 9 middle school kids on my JV team. So, you know, soccer is getting out there, and hopefully it'll start picking up in our area of South Mobile County.
Talk a little bit about the club. Seems like we've got club in just about every sport now, and
yes, sir.
And of course basketball, the AAU. Talk a little bit about the club in this area. Is it very strong?
I think it is. We have 2 clubs here in Mobile: Mobile United and Mobile Bay, which is usually across the bay, and it just gives kids an opportunity to play. The only downside to that is it's not very cheap, and it's pretty expensive. And you know, I find by the time they get to high school, sometimes they kind of get burned out on wanting to play, but it's good as far as getting them out there and getting them recognized at other levels.
When does that season run?
The club ball season usually runs from right after, for like this year, it'll be right after our high school season ends, and it'll end right around beginning of July, something like that, and then pick back up in like September, and it'll run through January when we start.
That's a lot of soccer.
It is. Yes,
it
sir.
really
Absolutely.
is. And again, that makes it hard for a kid to play another sport almost, you know, with that. So, well, that's good. What do you do in the off season? Do you, and we've talked about this on the show a lot, the weight room. Used to, we didn't see a lot of sports other than football in the weight room, but now we're seeing more. Do you get into the weight program with your soccer?
What we usually do is after our season's over and before our season starts, we will, I usually give them a break, but what we'll do is we try to get out there and do a lot of cardio. We do soccer, you have to do a lot of cardio. And a lot of our workouts that we do are body weight stuff. You know, we do a lot. I get my kids out there, especially like once the season's done, we'll get out there and we'll do a lot of body weight stuff. We'll do a lot of like CrossFit without a lot of weight, you know, just to keep them active and keep them going.
Talk a little about your staff. I know a couple years ago a lot of y'all were doing JV soccer, but you didn't have any supplement, but now we do. So you want to talk a little about your staff?
Absolutely. We got a new girls coach, a new girls varsity coach at Bryant. Her name's Alicia Perkins. We got Coach Bill Donald doing our JV girls, and Sam Kessler, who's helped me for past 2 or 3 years as my JV coach.
I can't remember a time where either Houston or Donald wasn't involved in soccer. I mean, down
Yes,
there,
sir.
it just seems like one of them always is involved, and they're both great at all the sports that they deal with. But that's good. They're good with the kids, and you're lucky to have them. Do you have anybody that you think may go on to the next level?
There's a couple of kids that stand out for me are probably my 3 captains. Eric Sillavong is my captain. He's a senior on my defense. and I've got 2 sophomores, Branton Green and Will Parent. I usually don't have sophomore captains, but I chose those 2 because they do have leadership skills. They play, they do play club ball, and they're really good little soccer players.
Coach, I was talking about a sport on our show a couple of weeks ago. It seems that a lot of times these kids are being seen with the club ball and not necessarily during the season.
Yes, sir.
Do you find this to be true?
I do, and I think that a lot of that has to do with me personally with soccer, because college soccer is in the fall. Mm-hmm. So in the spring they're getting their guys ready, so they don't have a lot of time to actually go out and watch. I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I try to record as many games as possible, and I'll put kids together a tape, a highlight tape,
mm-hmm.
and try and send it out to any colleges that they may be interested in.
That sounds good. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll have you back in the last segment, and after this message, we'll be back with Ms. Wallace.
This can't be happening.
This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car.
Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
See where the good goes at goodgoes.org.
Welcome back. We have Miss Megan Wallace, one of our up-and-coming coaches here in Mobile County. Miss Wallace, appreciate you coming by today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your tenure. You're not very old, you're relatively new, but you can talk a little about your time at Bryant.
Well, this is my second year at Bryant. It's only my first year as head coach for the softball team. But last year I did serve as the assistant coach for Coach Easton. And I do coach volleyball there as well, and basketball. And I'm also science teacher, so I'm pretty involved.
So you live at Bryant High School, right?
Exactly. I live there from morning till night.
What's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make going from the JV coach to the varsity?
Well, the biggest adjustment I've made is changing that roles with my girls. Last year I was more of the friend, the assistant who's always picking them up, who's always making sure everybody's there mentally and emotionally. And this year I've had to flip the switch and be the disciplinarian and be the person who's getting after them the entire time. And so it took a little while transition-wise to get them in the right mindset of, this isn't my assistant coach anymore. This is my head coach. This is the one I have to, this is the one I have to listen to now. This is the one I have to really respect. And not that they didn't last year, but it's, as an assistant coach, you're always the buddy. You're always the one picking them up after the head coach really gets into them.
Yeah, so. that's true. Tell us a little bit about your season so far up to this point.
Well, we're having a great season at Bryant. We really are. We're 14-9 overall, and we're 4-1 in the area. So we've actually done a lot better this year, like we should have, than what we did in the past. And we've been, I don't think we've been blown out in any games that we've played. We've been competitive in every game, and we've, should have won a few that we lost, and, we're surprised to win a few that we did. So overall, we're having a great season so far.
Ms. Wallace, talk a little bit about the area that you're in. I know it's a tough area, the teams you have to play.
It's a very tough area, especially with the addition to MGM this year in our area. We're the only 5-team area in 7A for softball, and I mean it's tough from top to bottom. Every week is a battle. We have, of course, Baker, always the heavy favorite in softball in our area, and then Theodore and MGM and even Davidson it's a dogfight every single game that we play. Last year we dropped both of our area games to Theodore, and this year so far we've won the first one against Theodore, and after spring break we'll have the next one. So right now we control our own destiny, and hopefully we'll end up at least taking one game off Baker. I'm hoping tonight we'll do that.
You play them tonight?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have big area game tonight at home against Baker, so we hope to do very well.
The Bayou needs to get out and get in those stands and bring those little black gnats down there and worry them to death.
They'll be there. They'll be there. Trust me. Home field advantage. They'll be there.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about your team this year. Have you got a young team or seniors or a mixture? Or?
Well, it's actually a pretty good mixture. I only have one senior. But I'm very heavy on the juniors. I have 6 juniors that are in my starting lineup, and I fill the rest with, I think I have 2 sophomores that start for me consistently. And it's a very good group, a very solid group that I have. And they've all been playing for a good time now on varsity.
Do y'all have youth programs down there in Bayou, or where do the kids play in the summer, or do they?
Oh, well, a lot of my girls actually have a very good foundation in club ball or travel ball, as we call it. I think I have 5 girls that play travel ball throughout the summer, and we don't have that many leagues down in the Bayou, down in the Irvington Grand Bay area. We have I think 1 in the Bayou and 1 in Grand Bay, but there's always the big programs out in Theodore for TAA, and of course West Mobile, and I'm seeing a lot more these days of girls traveling to go to those programs and really get softball all year round, which helps them in the end.
Yes, it really does. Again, it's getting to the point now where an athlete just about has to work on it year round.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll get a kid that'll play 2, and those that play 3, I don't know how they do it because each coach is, kind of demanding and wants them. And but it takes a special athlete to play more than 1 nowadays.
Oh, yes, sir, it does.
Do you think that you may have some kids next year? I mean, you said you have 1 senior, but your juniors that may go on to the next level?
Oh, yes, sir. I have, my 1 senior, she's already signed and committed to Spring Hill.
Great.
Oh, yeah, great for her and great for our program.
Right.
And then none of my juniors have committed yet, but I do expect at least 4 of them. Probably 5 to go on and play at the next level, whether it be a junior college or a D2 or even a few D1 schools. It just, they haven't found the right fit just yet, but I do expect those girls to get called up to the next level and continue their careers.
Tell you, junior college ball is nothing to look down on. It is so competitive, and we have teams, and I still say we've got some junior colleges that compete with a 4-year school.
Oh, I agree. I played at Faulkner State right across the bay. So for 2 years, I know exactly how competitive junior college ball can be, and it's come a very long way, and it's nothing to look down upon if you go to a junior college right after high school.
Exactly, and it's free money. So I mean,
exactly. Free school's always
good. That's for sure. Let's talk a little bit about your off season. I don't know if you had a chance to be with them since it's your first year, but what are your plans for the off season for your kids?
Well, we actually got on the ball this year and got my girls in a strength and conditioning class during the fall. Lonnie Rollins out at school does our strength and conditioning program for in season and for our off season, and he'll help us out this summer as well. So my girls are in the weight room lifting, and they're out on the track running and trying to stay fit and trying to be the classic bigger, faster, and stronger that every athlete works toward. You know, that we don't let them slack off because they're girls.
Right.
You know, they have to work harder in the off season to where they can be prepared for in season to go a long season like softball is.
How receptive are they, say a 9th grader coming in from Alba or Grand Bay, and then they in the weight room? How receptive are they at the beginning?
At the beginning,
they think, well, I don't want big muscles like
exactly,
a boy. So,
exactly. They always have that mindset, and it's always it's a shock for the girls because they go, wait, I have to lift weights, and that's always the fear. They don't want to get bulky.
Right.
They don't want to get cut or anything like that. But what we try to stress to them is that, you know, you're not bulking up. You're strengthening your core muscles, and you're strengthening yourself for season. And we try to stress it to them that way. But the girls that have been coming up, or at least this year, have been very receptive.
That's great.
To building their core muscles and building that conditioning and that strength for the softball season.
And if they come in as 9th graders and go through 4 years of it, you're going to see a big difference.
We'll definitely see a huge difference in those years of preparation instead of just the 1 and 2 that they've been getting here lately.
Stay right there. We're going to bring Coach Higgins back, and after this message, we'll be back.
Hi, I'm running back LaDainian Tomlinson, and this is Kuddles. Kuddles suffer from heartworm disease, a potentially fatal disease caused by parasites. After Kuddles' treatment, she was confined to a small kennel for more than 2 months. Mosquitoes transmit the disease to both dogs and cats. It only takes 1 bite for an infection to occur. Talk to your veterinarian today about starting your pet on year-round heartworm prevention. For more information, visit heartwormsociety.org.
Welcome back. We got Coach Higgins back in here, and we got a couple more questions we want to run by y'all. Coach Higgins, yes, sir. A lot of people, when they watch your soccer match, they just think y'all running up and down, just kicking the ball. I think that's one reason when I did soccer in college, I'd get it one end and somebody'd kick it all the way to the other, and I'd get to that and then they'd kick it all the way back. Yes. But tell us a little bit about running of plays and things of that nature.
A lot of times, you know, we try to do like little wall passes from outside to inside. That's the best way to work a soccer game. You know, a lot of people do think it's just kicking a ball. A lot of times, most of our set plays are on set pieces where someone fouls us, and we either get a direct or indirect kick or on a corner kick, you know, things like that. But we have little movements that we do to try and, of course, off balance the defense. You know, if we can get them off balance, then, you know, that's just like basketball or anything else. You know, you get somebody, you know, strong on one side, you flip it to the weak side real quick, and, you know, hopefully something will come open.
I'm going to ask you the same question. A lot of people think you just go out there and y'all pitch it and hit it. So go through real quick a practice schedule for softball.
Oh, well, our practice schedules, they work around stations, and we break down the game as much as possible into each individual skill. So we'll have girls on the field working on defense, whether they be the infielders taking ground balls, and then if you're over in the cages, we break down to even each individual pitch, having girls work T drills for outside pitches, for the movements on getting their backside through on swings, to every little facet of the game, to bunting, to going over everything that they can go over. We try to break it down into each individual piece as much as possible instead of just the classic, throw them out there and let them do what they want.
I was watching some girls softball yesterday, and I'm amazed at the left-handed batters that actually are running and hitting the ball. Is that something that is actually taught?
Yes, the left-handed slapper,
Right.
as
Is
we
that what
call
it's
them.
called?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's something that's taught from a very young age. You always do it for those girls who are really fast and have really good quick hands. It gives them that extra about half a second down the line, and I know it doesn't sound like much,
it can make a
but
difference.
when it only takes them under 3 seconds to get from home plate to first base, you want a girl on that left side, if they have the coordination to do it and they have that speed already, it brings an added pressure that you put on the defense by having that left-handed slapper there.
It's amazing, it really is. Talk a little bit about some of your players by name.
Okay. I have a few players. Dawson Keener is one. He's the first player that I've ever had that has come through 6 years of Bryant High School. He's played up through JV from the 7th grade, and he's a senior. He's one I'm going to miss. Jack Wiggins is another senior. In the defense, Tyler Pipkins is a kid who played JV last year, stepped up as a junior this year as a starter for me. I'm going to miss Winston Pakahama, who is the center of my defense, and he has a hammer for a leg, and he will definitely be missed. Noel Rosales plays one of my defensive midfielders, and as I said earlier, Will Parent's my leading scorer. I think he scored 18 goals this year.
Great.
Which is pretty good. And then Branton Green leads our midfield in the center.
That's great. Same question for you, Miss Wallace. By name, some of your players.
Oh, well, of course, starting with my senior, Shelby Cullum. She's my leadoff hitter. She sets the table, and for my hitting and my offense, getting her on is a big play for us. And then, of course, she does anything I ask her to out in the field, whether it be left field or first base, wherever I need her to, she's there. And then, of course, I have my starting pitcher. My number one in the circle is Kaylee Pattison. She's a junior right-handed pitcher who throws most of our games for us. And when she's on and when she's pitching her game, there's not that many people who can beat us. And then, of course, I have a junior, Holly LaForce, who does a great job for me as my utility player. If I need her to play second base or if I need her to play center field, she does a great job. And then another junior that has stepped up this year is Shelby Thornsberry. Is my shortstop. Great athlete, quick hands at the plate, and then she has a great glove in the field as well.
That's great. I know y'all got your season winding down, and your tournament's coming up, and you're glad when it starts, but you kind of look forward to it ending also, because it's a long season for y'all. It really is, because it starts, back in January. So, but good luck on your seasons and the rest of the way, and appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.